Hi, everybody. This is Barry Borthistle's training session, and Barry is the Presidential Director of TriVita, and we have a really exciting call tonight. So we have a special guest, so I'll just let him go straight ahead and get to it.
Thank you, Christy. First of all, I want to recognize Memorial Day in the United States. I first thought maybe we shouldn't have it tonight, but I want to publicly thank our armed forces in both countries, particularly the United States. It's his Memorial Day for the freedoms that we have. And that was really the motivation for me to have our event tonight rather than postpone it for a week. So I want to recognize all of our veterans and the freedoms that we have. They pay a tremendous cost, many of them with their lives. And so I wanted to go ahead and pay tribute to them, particularly on Memorial Day in the United States. And we thank them all for the ultimate sacrifice for so many of them. So something we take for granted, I think, many, 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 many times. So tonight we do have a very, very special guest and a very, very special webinar. And it'll be recorded, so we'll get it out to a lot of people because we know a lot of people will listen to the recording because of the holiday in the United States. So we're calling this Life and Leadership with TriVita, Lessons from a Hockey Player. So on our very first slide, we have a lovely picture of Ryan and his lovely wife, Jennifer. Ryan has spent 17 years playing and coaching in the National Hockey League, to winning a Stanley Cup with the Montreal Canadiens, my favorite team. Ryan received his MA in Leadership Business. He and his wife, Jen, now travel to North America, helping businesses build their teams, which we want to do, and to create a winning mindset. Now, I know Ryan is a humble guy, but Ryan, welcome to the call, and I know this is hockey season. In fact, I think you did play most of your career with the Canadiens, but did you not play for Washington at one point?
Yeah, I did, Barry. The Washington Capitals are in the Stanley Cup final for only the second time in their long career. So Barry, I had to bring you just a little bit of a different opening, okay? Are you ready for it?
Okay, here's the big opening. All right, for hockey fans.
The goalie jumps, the players bump, the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores, and the girl hockey game.
That's very good. Ryan, this is a question I never told you I was going to ask, but it just came to my mind. We're talking about hockey. How do you explain the success of the Las Vegas team, first year in the NHL?
I know.
And they're in the Stanley Cup playoff. Do you have an explanation for that?
Well, a couple of thoughts. I mean, who knows unless you're in that dressing room, but here's a couple of thoughts I've been thinking about because it is an amazing thing. George McPhee, their general manager that picked the team, he said he had a great quote. Somebody asked him, why is your team so successful? He said, well, I got to pick all 24 players, in a week, like one day. And he said, I started with character. Isn't that important?
Is that important?
With character. Yeah, he said, I didn't want any prima donnas on my team. I wanted players that really were hungry. So there's a couple of great thoughts, from doesn't matter what business we're in. We want to continuously grow our character and develop our character, and we want to stay hungry.
Well, that's certainly the principle of TriVita. Now, speaking of hungry, you've written a book. What's it called?
Yeah, we finally had to write about it. Sort of 9 or 10 big ideas on how to keep yourself hungry. So that's the name of our book. That's our 5th book, and we've got another one we're writing right now. So yeah, we're pretty hungry, Barry.
And that's available on Amazon, no doubt.
Yeah, or you can go right to ryanwalter.com and we'll sign a copy and send it out for you.
Great. Well, now, you've also received some awards. Can you just tell us briefly what those awards are?
Well, you're not allowing me to stay very humble here, Barry. Thank you. I was just a normal hockey player at the NHL level. I had a chance to win the Stanley Cup, and we'll talk about that. But I had a chance to do lots of charity work at the NHL level, and they call that they give an award out in the NHL called Man of the Year, and it's just basically for doing charity work. And then really throughout my career, really the Stanley Cup, the team award was the key. I had a chance to play in one All-Star game, but I think that's a team. Hockey is such a team sport. My mind always goes to the team win.
Well, I like to think that TriVita, the reinvented TriVita under Michael's leadership, is a team sport, is it not?
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely. We
love.
What's
it like? There's a picture. The next picture, Christy, showing Ryan holding the Stanley Cup. What's it like holding the Stanley Cup, Ryan?
Well, it's pretty cool, Barry. I mean, it's a little bit. Let's tie it into our TriVita friends. I mean, you set goals and then you work hard and you stay focused, stay hungry, and then at the end we get a chance. Oftentimes we get a chance to have a success in life, and success is different to every person. And that was only one success in our lives. I mean, Jenny and I love leadership development. We love team development, and going back and getting a master's degree in leadership business at Trinity Western University was another little success for us and for me. And so there's all these little successes, and to grab that cup, that Stanley Cup, and lift it, it was a pretty surreal feeling.
I bet it was. Well, also, I know you've first time I met Ryan, or one of the in the beginning, he had a Stanley Cup ring on, and he let me put the ring on my finger, and I sent it to some of my grandkids. I said, "Look, Grandpa's got a Stanley Cup ring on," and that was. But he made me give it back to him, of course. But also, Ryan, back in 1980, we all remember, those of us that are old enough, the incredible victory that U.S. had over Russia in the Olympics. We remember that so well. And then they did a film on it. I've got the old video of the film. Now, Tell us who played the referee in that film of the 90. Who was the referee in that game?
Well, I got to give you the backstory here for our listeners on the podcast here. I got a call from Disney, and Disney was going to shoot the movie Miracle in Vancouver, Canada, and they wanted me to be the hockey expert. So I had a chance to work behind the scenes and put all the hockey together and choose the hockey players and all of that. And then the director, Gavin O'Connor, said to me, "Ryan, you've done a good job. I want to get you in the movie." And so he made me the referee between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. And that was a really fun experience. And then he gave me lines in the movie. And when you get lines in the movie, your money goes way up. So that was good too. But
great.
We love that movie, Barry. I think it's very honoring to hockey in the U.S. and especially those young athletes that were able to beat the Soviet team.
Well, I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was incredible. All right, on the next slide, I'm going to ask you the question: what is the biggest life lesson you've learned from your hockey days?
Well, it's a good one. I think, Barry, I mean, there's so many that I've learned. I mean, hockey is such a great metaphor for life. But I think the biggest one for me is the power of mindset, and just the whole idea that we can choose our thinking, and that our thinking is really the thing that long term creates our belief system. And then our belief system generates the action habit and then the results that we get in life. And I just think that that idea that, we can choose the mindset that we want in life. Most of us go through hard times, and the hard times are the ones that tend to define our life because we've made choices. We've chosen to make sure that we have the right mindset through those hard times or those good times. And I think that sport is a great illustrator of that, Barry, but that's the one that I think is really transferred into my life, the rest of my life, because if you're anything like our family, we're normal. We have hard times, we have good times, we have average times, and really, it's how do we respond to those different times in our lives that with the mindset that we need, not with the mindset that we just sort of react to. How do we do that? And I learned that from sport, and I'm still learning it.
Well, that's very powerful, and that certainly applies to the goal and mission of TriVita Wellness, because without without your health, you've really got nothing, do you, Ryan? I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you got in the bank or that, but if you don't have your health and your wellness, you really don't have anything, do you?
Yeah, so true. That is so true, and I think when you think of wellness or sort of wellness and health and staying healthy, it is that body, spirit, mind, right? Like it's the whole system, and we want to keep everything healthy.
Well, I know on the last live stream with Michael and Marcus, Michael gave some amazing stats about the cost of health insurance for people and so forth, particularly in the United States. And it's staggering. I mean, it's absolutely staggering. And the better you take care of yourself when you're younger and as you get older, and with our products and with our philosophy and so forth, wellness really, and that's really what we're trying to do in TriVita is we have a cause, and the cause is wellness. It's not money. People will make money. We want people to make money, but the cause is wellness. And as Dr. Phil said, if you create relationships with people, they will follow you anywhere. That's certainly the emphasis of the reinvented TriVita as we have launched, the new products and so forth. So that's really good advice.
Yeah, and I think, Barry, I'm going to jump in just one more time. One of the things around the TriVita cause that my wife Jenny and I love is that this is the perfect timing, because people are all of a sudden, they were relying on the doctors and the system to keep them well, but that's just reacting to things that are wrong with your body. And I think that the way that the world is turning today is TriVita is perfectly positioned because people are now taking care of their own health, and they know they have to, and we know we have to. So I think that it's perfectly positioned.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, the next slide, visiting the Wellness Center in Scottsdale. I believe you have your beautiful wife Jennifer with you. I know that you and Jennifer were in Scottsdale last fall. You visited the Wellness Center, the clinic at the Wellness Center, and in Phoenix. And as Michael mentioned on the live stream, our clinic is receiving rave reviews, world-class Mayo Clinic medical doctors, and is really doing an incredible service, and is kind of leading the whole wellness concept that we are creating in TriVita. So, Jennifer, if you're there, can you just briefly share with us your reaction to going through the Wellness Center and how you responded to what you saw and what you experienced?
I would love to, Barry. Thank you. The TriVita Wellness Center is absolutely an amazing place. I just loved it there. We both did. An amazing environment to walk into. Just a whole facility devoted to natural wellness, and it was wonderful. The doctors that we saw were amazing, very insightful, cutting edge testing they did of us in many different areas, and corresponding treatment too. That was just superb, and I wish we had that here in Vancouver, British Columbia, where we live. That it was wonderful. Although I liked the idea very much of Ryan taking me to Phoenix so that I can revisit the wellness center. So that part of, but it was just an amazing experience. I can't say enough about what a wonderful concept it is and how much I believe in what TriVita is doing there.
That's great. It seems to me, as if I recall correctly, too, that I think you walked out with about $800 worth of product. Did you not?
I shopped very well, yes. And I'm ready for a return visit, let me tell you.
Well, if we have to, I know Michael's intention is to have more wellness centers. He has mentioned Vancouver, by the way, perhaps down the road. But if there's any place to go between September and May for a wellness center, it would have to be Phoenix, Arizona, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Oh, yes. I couldn't agree more.
All right. We got a couple more slides here. The next one, I'm just going to ask Ryan, your thoughts now on the wellness and TriVita's leadership in this whole wellness industry. What's your response to that?
Yeah, Jenny and I really like the concepts that TriVita is bringing forward here, Barry, and certainly the products. You and I are going to talk about Dr. Wolf in a minute, but
yeah, we'll go back to it. Sorry, I missed a slide here.
Yeah, no problem. Did you want to go back to that slide?
Yeah, let's go back one slide. I'm sorry, I missed one slide here. Last October, and some of you on the phone tonight attended this, we had the privilege of having Dr. Wolf here in Vancouver, and Ryan did the interview. And I'm going to tell you something that happened today as a result of that. It was an incredible interview. Ryan spent a fair amount of, Ryan and Jennifer spent some personal time with Dr. Wolf, interviewed Dr. Wolf. Dr. Wolf was very, very warm in his response to Ryan's interview. So Ryan, fill us a little bit in on your experience when you interviewed Dr. Wolf on MyoHealth.
Yeah, well, I think it started in the morning, and Barry, you and Ruth allowed Jen and I to have a little breakfast with Bob Wolf, and we really had a blast, and we really connected. He's an old basketball player, and that was for many years in his life. That was his love, and then he got into science, and he looked at these amino acids and the essential amino acids. And you know what amazed me, Barry, is, and I turned 60 a couple of weeks ago here, and as we get older, health is such an important part of our life. We want to stay healthy. And Bob Wolf was telling us that 30% of people as they age really struggle with muscle deterioration, and you can feel it. Many people can feel it as they get older. That they don't, their body doesn't seem to generate the muscle that they used to as a younger person. So we had a great interview with Bob Wolf, and he talked to us about MyoHealth. Jenny and I have been on the product now for a long time. Certainly before we even interviewed Dr. Wolf, we were taking the product, but we love the product. We like the stuff, the powder that you mix into water. I like the taste, but you can also get those, certainly the pills. And Jen and I try to do it after a long walk. We'll have a big MyoHealth sort of refresher after a long walk. But we want to stay strong, and that's part of our process to stay strong. Bob Wolf is a guy that I want to pay attention to. Dr. Wolf is a guy that I'd love to interview again. And so we're going to stay in touch, and certainly we love his product.
Well, my wife Ruth, I watched her with this product, and what she does, and I'm doing this now, is we all carry a bottle of water with us. Well, I don't carry any water with me anymore unless it has the BioHealth powder inside. It makes water taste better. And so everywhere I go, I don't know how much BioHealth I'm taking. I don't care because it makes me feel so good. The more I take, the better I think I feel. But I was introduced that concept with my wife, and it really works. Well, we are working toward another big event here in Vancouver. We don't have any details tonight, but I want to tell you the importance of events. Garth and I had a meeting today. The timing of this is incredible. We had a meeting today where we had 2 guests at this event in October. And they've been on the BioHealth. I'm not going to go into any details, but we had a contact today with the possibilities that have blown us out of the water. I mean, and it was a direct result of having the event, having Ryan and Jennifer, and then interviewing Dr. Wolf. We didn't tape it. We should have taped it. We'll certainly tape the next one in whatever event it takes. But out of that has come an incredible contact for TriVita, for wellness, and for the growth of our business. So the last slide, your thoughts. I think you've expressed your thoughts on wellness and TriVita. Our leadership under Michael, we know that we've got a tiger by the tail, so to speak. And in just a minute, I'm going to bring Garth on to close our call. But Ryan and Jennifer, it's a privilege working with people like you. We've got a great future together, and I want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to be interviewed on our call tonight. Before I turn it over to Garth, well, Ryan, you may want to chip in on this, on the new Executive Builder Program and the Business Builder Pack. I am absolutely thrilled with the results that we are getting. It's incredible. Never seen anything like it. When you think of what's ahead, as Michael talked about on the live stream with the new brain product coming, what's here now. They're now working on the media program, which will probably introduce, they'll test it like they always do, probably September. Don't have a firm date. And then Dr. Sheeler, the Mayo Medical Clinical doctor, who has done more research on Nopalea, probably by late November, somewhere in there, probably have the third media. So I want to plant this in your mind before Garth comes on, because we have been testing a concept of introducing the Executive Builder Program and the Business Builder Pack. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of phenomenal responses. We're not going to tell you what it is right now, but Garth's going to tell you what's coming on June the 10th. But when you think of what we've got with BioHealth, with the coming brain product, and then the reinvented, whatever the right word is, about Nopalea, put that all together, it is one incredible concept. And the other thing that the company has discovered is that about 25%, for those of you that have been around for a while and have customers that are not buying, well, what they're finding between going back on television and the new catalog, which is brilliant in my opinion, about 25% of older customers are now ordering. In fact, we had one customer, and this is exception, doesn't always happen, one customer who ordered the BioHealth, once they got the catalog, you ready for this now? Ordered $600 worth of product. Now, does that happen all the time? Of course not. But that shows the potential. So with that, I want to turn it over to Garth, who will close out our call with what's going to happen on June the 10th, and then Christy will close it for us. So again, thank you, Ryan and Jennifer. Garth, take it away.
Thank you, Barry. I want to hear more Ryan and Jennifer. I love listening to those two. So I'm sorry for the audience, because I would rather listen to them than me. But just do a